intellectual property related issues. So there are three main areas, which is the contents of ECFA agreement. First, we talk about trade in goods. If we sign ECFA with China, according to Zhonghua Research Institute, Taiwan will benefit in some high polluted industry, like petrochemistry, like textile industry, steel industry, coal-related industry. And China will benefit in electronic industry, electrical equipment industry, and vegetable and food producing industry. And nowadays, we have a medical equipment producing industry. Medical equipment industry in China will be more developing. So you can see China will benefit in high-tech industry, but Taiwan benefited in high-polluted industry. So that is not good for Taiwan. That is not good for Taiwan because now is an information age, and quite a lot of information technologies rely on electronic and electric research. So after signing ECFA, quite a lot of Taiwanese students who study electronics and electric, they will go to China. They will not change their career to do textile or to produce that kind of petrochemical products. That is not their expertise. So excellent Taiwanese will go to China to find a job there. And you know, modern weapon productions, modern weapons rely on this kind of electric and electronic technique so much that China will have a high quality weapon, and Taiwan will have more ability to produce textile and petrochemical. But this kind of area of technologies is not good for our national defense. So signing ECFA in terms of goods, that is not good for our futures. And you know, Taiwan, we can have a economic miracle because we have so many small and medium-sized enterprises. The small and medium-sized enterprises, that is the basis of Taiwan economy. But if we sign ECFA, some of the small and medium-sized enterprises who has competitiveness, who are competitive enough, they will become a big industry. They will become a big enterprises. But quite a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises, because the production cost in China is 1/3 of Taiwan, their land cost, their labor cost, their environmental requirements is much, much lower than Taiwan. So if we sign ECFA, this kind of small and medium-sized enterprises will go to China to establish their production plants there and make the products and export back to Taiwan. So quite a lot of people in Taiwan will become redundant. So that is not good for Taiwan in terms of goods. Then we come to trade in services. Trade in services, this kind of international trade is so sensitive. It's so sensitive because trade in goods, if we close the door, the goods will not come to Taiwan. Once we allow Chinese bank to establish their branch in Taiwan, once we allow Chinese insurance company to establish their branch company in Taiwan, they are into our society. They come into our society and they can provide more higher interest to attract our Taiwanese people to deposit their money in Chinese bank. And they can use one kind of better conditions to attract our insurance policy holders to buy Chinese companies' insurance policy. At that time, Japanese company and American company will be no match to China because China, their bank is so huge and quite a lot of them are national. And their insurance company, they can be so competitive and they can use the revenue they make in China to subsidize their practice in Taiwan. So if they use their incomes from China to subsidize their branches operation in Taiwan and to attract Taiwanese to deposit their money in their branch to buy their insurance policy, then our financial system will be controlled by Chinese government. And we all know that finance has a systemic risk because banks tend to borrow money with each other banks, and banks tend to cross relations with each other. So if one bank fails, it is quite easy to pull down another bank. So this kind of risk, we call it systemic risk.
In the future, China will manipulate one of their banks to manipulate Taiwanese financial system. They just allow one bank to collect. Then this kind of collapse will bring down the whole system of Taiwanese bank. The whole system of Taiwanese bank. And just now I say, China object Taiwan to join IMF. And China object Taiwan to join World Bank. So if we have a financial crisis in the future, no international organization can grant assistance to Taiwan. So we just can assist. We just can seek assistance from United States and China. And nowadays, the situation in the United States is not as good as before. United States is not as strong as before. So in the future, we may have to seek assistance from China. And China at the time will say, okay, I rescue your banking system, but you have to dismantle your weapon and dismantle your army and to accept one China principle and not to have a president, but a government. So you see, they can manipulate this kind of financial crisis to take over Taiwan. So at that time, the missile they established in Hokkien province is really no use. They don't have to use that. They use this kind of economical means can take over Taiwan. So that is why I object to that. And if we sign ECFA with China, just now I say, we cannot regret. And if we decided to terminate ECFA after signing ECFA after some years, it will trigger heavy compensation liability on Taiwan, because ECFA is an exception to MFN principle. So there is a duty for Taiwan to establish FTA with China. So if we decided to terminate ECFA, the international compensation liability is too heavy for Taiwan to shoulder. So we cannot allow the Ma administration to sign this agreement with China. So the better way is not to sign ECFA with China, and we rely on WTO mechanisms. Now we are already members of WTO, and we trade with more than 150 countries. And now we already have sufficient international environment for us to develop our intellectual property rights, intellectual properties, for example, patent, trademark, or copyright. We can rely on this. And because WTO has already established a foundation in terms of intellectual property. And in Taiwan, we have nothing, but we only have human power. And our education in Taiwan is so successful. Our young people, they are creative and they are inventive. They can produce quite a lot of good inventions. So if our government can grant them some assistance to try to help them to commercialize their inventions, then we can have quite a lot of young people who can establish good company, good enterprises, and to become internationally competitive. So how to improve our technology standards and how to have more patent, more copyright and trademark is the only way for we Taiwanese. And we have that kind of basis because our education is quite successful these 100 years from Japanese time until now. Now the Ma administration just focus on what? How to reduce the production cost by going to China. But my thinking is different. We should focus on how to increase our product value by having better brand name, by having better patent and trademark. So the thinking is totally different. And so if we just rely on WTO, we can become a strong country like Switzerland. We all know that Switzerland is a member of WTO, but Switzerland has not joined European community. But Switzerland is very good in banking, in insurance company, in insurance activity, and security transactions. So finance is good in Switzerland.